where are you at with this Title IX thing? Because the Title IX and now the Department of Education is getting involved because everybody's going to want a piece of the pie. This is another thing that I said months ago on this show. I said, wait till Title IX gets involved when they cleared that Pavia JUCO prep thing. I said, I ain't heard nothing from Title IX. Title IX's got to get involved. And all of a sudden, boom, look at this. This right here could change a lot of things because it's going to be interesting if they decide, well, guess what? Pavia, you can't get $2 million no more. Because guess what? That money has to be dispersed evenly. That is the Title IX law. If Shaun King gets $1, then so does Lucy in the chat. And so does Gok Gok. And so does, they all need to get the same dollar that you, Smitty, and I get. That's just Title IX. So now they finally realized it when ADs came out. And I'm going to read you something specific real quick so you can wrap your heart around this shit. ADs and collectives have already come out and said that football players will receive 75% of the revenue that is brought in. That's illegal per Title IX and Department of Education. So now they get their hands on it. And I still don't understand how the NCAA, the non-carrying assholes of America, continue to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner, now allowing Title IX and Department of Ed involved when we know damn well these kids are going to 4 schools in 4 years. It ain't about education, Shaun. So, this is just a continued slap in the face of what's going on macro scale. And I don't know how you're going to fix this. Because if this happens, Smitty, I'm just telling you, Juju at SC, she going to get 10 mil then. And so, just like the quarterback.
But somebody like Juju or like a Caitlin Clark, for example, I don't mind them getting but I'm saying, I know, I hear you, but what I'm saying is, the nobodies are going to get the same money now. Yeah, and you don't have, there's not enough money. There's not enough money. Think about it real quick. Even, what's your boy name that Miami just got? Quarterback real quick from Georgia, Carson Beck. Carson Beck. He'll be getting what? Was it 10 million? Is the rumor? He probably
about 4 million.
A million or whatever. That's one player getting that.
Yes.
That's one player. We ain't talking about all the other NIL money from everybody else. So think about how are they going to balance that out amongst the tennis team and the track and field and the volleyball.
Let me say,
lead those two real quick. Go ahead,
Shaun.
I think this impacts the collective at the school more so than the NIL, like the outside NIL money. I think this is more about the collective, like where there's an attachment to the athletic program that's actively fundraising to raise money to give student athletes. I think they're saying that God damn.
Hey, Bailey, turn off. What the hell we got going on?
He's dying back there.
He's like getting money. Like, oh my God. Okay, go ahead.
So I think this is going to impact the collective, because that's directly attached to the athletic department, and they're raising money to give out to student athletes for NILs. So I think that's what they're going to say. That's got to have Title IX guidelines on it, meaning the female athletes have to have access to that and an equal share of that collective. I don't think this has nothing to do with Smitty wanting to pay JB $2 million to go to Ball State and be the quarterback at Ball State, because you're not a part of the collective. So you got to think, NIL is a big umbrella. Collective is something that the school regulates, that they have people in place that control a bag that then they give to the football program, the basketball program, to retain current players and attain players from other places. But there can also be an outside entity, like the guy from Oracle, whose wife is a Michigan grad, who stepped up and gave Bryce Underwood that big check. Like, that's not a part of the collective. That's an individual attached to the program doing something on their own.
Right. So, okay. And I thought I brought that up at the very opening. I asked JB a question. I said, because I feel like, to your point, Shaun, there's a way to get around this, is basically what you're saying. To where if it's coming from the outside money, technically speaking, that has nothing to do with the university. Like that's separate from the university. That's separate from these bylaws here. JB, I don't know if you heard. I know you just took a little quick break or whatever. Or you had to go. I don't know what you was doing.
So let me give an example.
You heard everything.
So at University of Texas, they were the first ones that the collective came out and said every scholarship offensive lineman gets $50,000 a year. Right? Remember when Texas came out and said that?
Yeah.
If this Title IX rule goes into place, now what would happen was that collective pool of money now would have to be evenly dispersed and available to the female athletes as well as the male counterparts.
Got you. I see what you're saying. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So let's say, let's say the collective had $200,000 just in it total. Boom. Basically, $100,000 could go to football, and $100,000 could go to spread out amongst the women's sports.
Right.
Using that example. Got you.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
But at the same time, DK Royal, I think the stadium in there, DK Royal Stadium in Texas, ain't the name of it. If the Royal family, who's not a part of the collective, decides on their own that they want to give Arch Manning $4 million a year to be the quarterback there, that's a separate sideline deal that Title IX can't get involved in.
That's what I brought up to you during your opening rant. I'm like, getting money like that from an outside collective has nothing to do with the Title IX stuff, right? Jason?
It does now because each school has $20.5 million to distribute. And if the school's doing it, that's Title IX. Fully affected. That's Title IX and Department of Education involvement. Because every
collective. That's the collective JB's talking about.
So, but from what I'm reading it's saying that each school will now have $20.5 million in direct payment to its athletes via name, image, and likeness deals as one of the terms of a pending antitrust settlement that just happened. So many of the schools from these Power 5 conferences have developed plans to distribute the majority of that money to athletes in sports that generate only the most revenue. 75% is football and men's basketball. So in some cases, ADs now have publicly said that they intend to provide upwards near 75% of that money towards football players because they bring in the most money. Bowl games, playoffs, all that shit, the most players. Just pure numbers, they have 200 players, let's just be honest, with red shirts, walk-ons, etc. Let's just say 125. Let's just cut it at 125. Yeah. You're triple the next sport.
Yeah.
Or you're quadruple the next sport.
Yeah.
So like they're just number wise, that's what it is. You're gonna pay those guys more. Well, now the Title IX is saying nah, because it's a dollar for dollar match. That is what Title IX is. I have to match the dollar for men and women.
So now they're going to cancel a whole bunch of women's sports then, probably.
No. See, let me explain what Title IX is without the money involved. Yeah. Because I only learned this when I coached. Title IX was put into place because it says the same percentage of female undergrad students to male students that you have, your athletic department has to mimic that percentage, which is why you saw the creation of women's lacrosse, women's tennis teams, women's golf teams, all the Olympic sports. Most of them at most colleges only have a women's side because the men's team would make the numbers, the percentage out of whack. So that's what the store Title IX is.
Yeah, but it's per sport. So, like, that's why you see programs take cheer, for instance, and make it a club. Right. And then cut men's baseball and women's softball. And they try to balance the numbers because football has so many players more than everyone else. So that's why some programs, if you go to like North Carolina, I believe there's like, I don't know, Bailey, you can look it up, but I bet you there's 26 probably sports. Right. You go to Vanderbilt, there's probably 14. Because you got club sports taken away, you got badminton thrown in there, you got now you putting pickleball and shit. They're trying to put shit in there so they can match the dollar for dollar on the Title IX deal. So like, it's gonna be very interesting. Monica Evers in the chat. Shout out to Monica. She has a son that's in Division I. She's very abreast of all this. She deals with a lot of this. So what she's saying in the chat there on X, collective NIL deals are renewed annually because of all the dynamics, including legislation. If this sticks, the collective will be disbanded. So,
which is what I was talking about, right, Smitty? Yep. Because the NIL can be funded without the collective.
Right.
Schools put the collective in place to try and have some control
Some management
over the flow of money. Right.
Yep. But if me and Shaun, Shaun, JB right now, like, fuck it, we want to fund.
We got JB University over here. We want to go get Fred, to be running back.
Right.
We can go outside and get whatever we need. Yeah, so there's ways around it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Juju and what is it, Paige Buckers, is that her name? And them girls breaking their money. They getting paid.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, my boy's daughter is one of the highest paid. She was a UCLA soccer player and a UCLA softball player. She was one of the first NIL deals to get a Adidas deal, and she's one of the first. She was the first female to get $1 million.
Yeah, that LSU gymnast is making a killing too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's just pockets. There's pockets of it all. It's just pockets of it all. It's like, what I mean? Now that Title IX is getting involved because they want a piece of the pie. Now they want everything to be. All the girls are going to make the same. All the boys are making the same. They're going to try to do it. There's no way it happens. There's just no way. It can't happen. There's no way. Something's wrong.
That's why. What's crazy? I think the women's side got it right.
Actually do NIL deals.
That we just said got an NIL deal has earned it.
Yes,
they already have national commercials. They box office talent. They balled at the college or Olympic. Like, they earned it. My only problem on the men's side is y'all are rewarding guys before they produce.
Mm-hmm.